G'day viewers, Sep here. I had one of my subscribers, after watching the video I just recently posted about how to deflate a tyre, he asked me what can we use to inflate a tyre. So I've got a couple options for you today to have a look at. One will be this Xtm, I'll show it to you, this Xtm 150Psi pump, and the other one will be this little Ryobi. So first of all, and that's one of the things we'll discuss. First of all, we'll talk about this pump here. So it comes in a little bag that you can store it all in, some instructions, etc. It has 8 meters of lead and has an attached cover over the gauge. It has a quick release fitting on that end to connect to the pump, which we're going to do all this in a minute, and we're going to pump up one of these tyres with both these things. And it also has these fittings, a snap-on fitting that you screw into the end of that line there, or you've got these other type fittings for airbed mattresses and so football or whatever else. So how it works, it's pretty basic. That's your quick release fitting, plugs onto that. It's got an over protection circuit there, reset circuit breaker. You've got your on off switch. Like I said, it's 8 meters of line, and that's probably something you need to be aware of. If you bought one of these for, say for example, pumping up your caravan tyres, these connect direct to the battery. You've got 2 battery clamps, so you need to check to make sure your lead is long enough to reach your rear tyres of your van. I've got a single axle caravan and this is not long enough, so I do something differently for ours to reach. And of course these are connected to the battery, and they have to be connected to a battery, and the car needs to be running when you use this. Otherwise, if you connect this straight to your battery with your car off, depending on how long you've got it on for, it's going to flatten your battery really quick, because they pull a fair few amps, and I think this one might pull about 75 amps, which is pretty high. It also weighs 9 kilos, so it's quite heavy, I suppose, but it appears very well made. I've used it a few times to pump up, well, half, 3/4 flat car tyres. I did 4 in one hit there one time. But they do say if you run this for 45 minutes constantly, you need to turn it off and let it cool down a bit. So that's this. So what I thought I'd do is I've got a tyre here. That's at 20 psi or thereabouts. We'll just check it. Yeah, so it's 19.5 at the moment. So what I thought we'd do is we'd fire this pump up, I'll connect it up, and we'll just see how long it takes to actually inflate this from 20 or 19.5 up to 40. So let's get that going. I'll just start the car up. All snapped on. We'll use this quick release fitting, so I'll put that in place. These casings get pretty hot as well, so you can't touch them once they've been on. You've got to let them cool down before you put them away. So, snap this on. We'll fire it up. So it's showing about 20 psi on the gauge. I'm not sure how accurate that will be, but we'll be checking it with another gauge anyway, so let's see what happens. So that looks like it went straight up to just under 40. Let's see, let's check it. No, 22, so it goes to show Don't trust the gauge. Let's go again. Let's check it again. It's showing 50, but like I said, we can't trust that gauge. Well, there you go, 41.5. So that didn't take very long at all to get that up, that 20 psi. It just goes to show the gauge is inaccurate. I'll just turn the car off. So the gauge is obviously not accurate, but look, that doesn't really matter. If you carry a separate gauge, you normally check it, double check anyway. It seems to pump up relatively quick. Like that was pretty quick for 20 psi. The way I've got this connected, because I said before that doesn't reach my caravan, I'd assume you can get extension lines and all that, but all I do is I just run a short set of jumper leads off the battery of the car, and I've got the end of this, the clamps for this connected to the jumper lead, so, and that gives me the extra distance, and then that reaches no problem. Not that I've had to use it to do that in my caravan. So what I thought we'd do now is I'll get out the other one we've got, the other option, the Ryobi, and you can have a look at that. So this one here, I'm not really sure if that's designed to pump up a tyre from flat. It's, the way it works is it has a battery which fits your drill. That's the reason why I've got this also. That fits my drill as well, so you can put it into this one. And it has a couple little inflators there for, again, mattresses and so forth. It also has a gauge on the back, which is not too bad as far as accuracy goes. But the main reason I bought this was to pump up the airbags in the car, and it does a great job. It's really quick at that. But what I thought we might do, just to show you how it works, I've just snapped the battery on. It's fully charged, and I'll bring this over so you can see this. So at the back, it's got the gauge there. So I'll just press it for a minute. I'm not sure it has to be attached. Yeah, so it gives you bar or PSI. You can alter whichever one you want to work with. And once you've got this attached, it'll give you a reading, which I'll show you that in a sec. But what we thought we'd do is I'll put a couple of PSI in this tyre, because I won't run this and try and run 20 PSI in it with this, because I'm a bit worried about that burning out if you're going to, because it'll take a fair while to do that, but it's great for 1 or 2 PSI. Or if you want to pump up any other type of thing, like your blow-up mattresses, it's quick and easy, your airbags, your football, whatever it might be, this is a really good option, more so than this big heavy Xtm job, which is really designed for, you know, inflating car tyres that are almost flat, I suppose. So this is just another good option. So I'll just show you how this works. It's pretty simple. I'll just check the PSI on this. So it's sitting right on 41, the PSI. Let's have a crack at it with this. So we just snap it on, like that. Now you might not be able to read it even if I bring it up close anyway, but I'll press it just to get an idea what the reading is of this. So it's showing 41 psi, the same as what this was. So what we'll do is let's put a couple of psi in, and I'll show you how it works. It sort of goes up to 45, but it's now dropped back to 43. So I'd expect this will have about 43 in it. So we might put a couple of PSI in and we'll have a look. Yeah, right on 43. So that's just another option. You can see that, you know, I put 2 PSI in that tyre, and again that's just a standard car tyre, and that was pretty quick also. But like I said, it's a fairly light duty thing. I wouldn't like to try and pump the tyre up from flat. There's probably a rest cycle on this too. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't looked that up. There's instructions with it and all that as well. But look, it is a really good option for quick and easy you know, use to pump up whatever you need to pump up. So the only thing with this is when you're handling this piece of equipment, you have a tendency to touch that trigger. It's only got a light trigger on it. It's annoying more than anything. It doesn't really matter. It's just when you're picking it up and you're handling it, you sort of have a tendency to grab it, and it's like a hair trigger. So yeah, so I think that's sort of about it. Hopefully you got something out of that. Like I said, that's a really good option, and the big one that does pump up tyres nearly flat, 4, like I said, in virtually in one go. There's no problems. Heavy, light duty. Obviously the gauge is inaccurate, but again, so be it. You've got to carry something that's pretty good. And of course this one, the gauge is relatively accurate once you get to know how to read it. So hopefully you got something out of that one. So I'll say thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one.